guys. Yeah, again, some ideas and some type of like a talking session from car. Hopefully it's understandable. This time I want to talk about a little bit like this subject of how to use aggression in building IGP dogs, and of course like the same in everywhere. We're talking about like a military or police dogs, or even like a ring sport. Those dogs which are trained for ring sport or something like this, it can be connected. We have like a different theories of this. Of course, we have like theories of like drive switching. Some people, especially some cultures, are supporting this idea that that dogs are being trained so that you start from great drive, and at some point when the dog has more and more will and drive, then at some point you start to like develop aggression. That means that aggression needs to be you need to wake this aggression up somehow. But there are some problems and issues, and why I don't do that. Of course, there are exceptions, like if I need to make the dog to be functional using the drive, but that means that the dog's like nervous system is that weak, for example, that without this drive the dog is not functional. This, I think that I talked about this like on my last video. But anyway, first of all, aggression, like I told, like aggression is not natural towards people. If we are talking about dogs, like if we're talking about hierarchy point of view, and natural explanation for this is that we are not the same species, and so domination, this hierarchy is always connected with one species only. It's like inside one species. It's not jumping from species to another species like naturally, because that means that it's more like it's about evolution, who gets the best males and best females, like who will be selected to continue the species. So that's like this is as simple as it gets. And then they need aggression for hunting, because pack animal, they are hunting down animals which can be very dangerous. They can be like they can kill. Of course, sometimes like they try to catch animals which are not such a big threat, but it's not always happening. For example, like I told that this example of wolf pack like hunting down a bear, like of course people understand now that's not an easy task to do. And then of course the last like reason to develop aggression is this defense system that's connected with defending something, like they can defend themselves or the pack or resources. But we are unable to basically create like those resources like naturally, because we are giving the food like twice per day for free, so they don't have any like real need to defend food resources or something. It's always actually it's connected with this that they are a little bit unsure and they are defending something. It's like connected with this defense mechanism in with people. Like some dogs are behaving badly because they can be like they can have the situation that they have something like a bone, and then they are like protecting this bone, but it's not like a resource which they need for staying alive. It's more like an unnatural relationship between dog and handler and the owner, and the owner is not like strong enough to create rules and create this unnatural hierarchy, and therefore those dogs start to take control. So it's not connected like in real world when they are like protecting food. It's really connected with staying alive. So they can defend themselves or the pack or resources in nature, but when we are talking about like dogs, which are like home dogs, sport dogs, mostly it's connected with trying to stay alive, like they are defending themselves. So if we are thinking this way, that we are like raising up the level, the drive, so that we are kind of creating the situation that the dog needs to protect the resources, like there is a sleeve, for example. That means that we like made a meaning for the sleeve. So it means that the dog is working in high drive, and sleeve has like a very strong meaning now. But still it's connected with this drive, it's connected with this situation, and in a way it can be very personal thing. It can be there can be this classical conditioning. It can happen that it's like based on this classical conditioning, so that the dog is recognizing the situation, place, time, etc. And also the helper who the dog is like dealing with. And because we have this drive switching type of thinking, it means that we separate drive, which is the prey drive, from this aggression. So aggression is something which is different. So it's like some people are thinking this way. It doesn't matter like which one you start first. Like let's make like a prey drive first, and then at some point, bing, we start to create aggression. And the last video I was explaining this aggression, this defense side, and I a little bit like I talk about before I go forward. I talk about this defense side a little bit more, because the defense side is something like when we need to we need to create the defense side. We need to develop the defense side so that we are like reinforcing it, because it's like I told that it's unnatural towards people. So we need to reinforce this this mechanism so the dog understands what to do there. And those there are those distances. So suspicious, then the suspicious, then there is like a threat, dangerous, and pain. Then this suspicion, this distance is that far that the dog is not like recognizing what is the target, what is the threat. Because the defense side can be open towards anything or anyone. So it's a really good idea to make it that far that the dog is not recognizing what it is. Because if the dog immediately recognizes it to be human, that's about like then it can be too much for them already, because they learned to be under our authorities. So I started like that. Very far distance, and when the dog is just staring at me, tail is up, hair is up, mouth closes, and I can see that the dog is really interested in what is going on and sending me messages that I know that something is over there. So at this point, the dog is not like trying to attack or nothing like that. It's like warning the pack and sending messages to everyone that there is something. And so this is not like the dog is not even reacting. They are just having this that type of emotion. And then I fly away, I run, and that's it. And next time the same till the dog starts to be more ready. The dog recognizes like at the situation. Okay, let's go. And they won all the time, each and every time they won. And now this emotion starts to create reactions, and now the dog is more ready for reacting, and more stronger those reactions, more stronger reactions the dog is giving. Then I come closer, and so I will be now using this threat level. And when I'm threat level, the dog is recognizing who it is, but the dog has been reinforced already. Like at that level, that the dog understands that that he can win. So now, whether I'm human or dog or whatever, the dog knows now what to do. And then when the dog is more like ready for fighting, and in time I come like a closer and closer till I get this this dangerous level. But that point the dog already knows how to control the threat. So I train that way, that I never teach the dog that way, that I control the behavior, I control aggression, I control everything, but I teach the dog to control me. So the proper way of thinking is that the threat level is this much all the time, and well, the dog's like abilities to answer to threat is not this much. But I keep the threat level this small till dog has more abilities to answer. So then when dog gives me more self-confidence, more stronger reaction, then I come closer. And this is how we proceed. So the proper way to think this way is you give less threat than dog's abilities to develop self-confidence is. So threat is smaller. Now if we teach dog, for example, we have this drive switching idea, and we do this like a prey drive exercises. First of all, we must understand that it's not exactly prey drive, but it's the energy where those dogs learn to kill the prey, and also when they are playing together, like puppies are playing, and then they are like creating the situation that they understand what is the position in their hierarchy. So sorry, son. So in this situation, it's the same energy, and we are teaching this, channeling this energy to play. Basically, if we never played with the dog, never gave any meaning for sleep or ball or tag, why would they react? Because it has nothing to do with like drive. So it's just an equipment what we are using for developing this type of behavior. And when the term drive means that it's a behavior without experience, so therefore we are actually we are offering these experiences. So that's why we can't call exactly this to be like a prey drive. The dog does not need to have prey drive in life. We give the food twice per day. So now, if I start with this drive point of view, like a drive first, that means that the drive actually blocks dog's abilities to develop aggression, because again, we don't develop aggression that way. We just come forward. We are there, giving this stimulation, using this like a dangerous, like a distance. And we never thought this dog to fight the helper. We thought this dog to react on the sleeve. And at some point now we start to put like a threat. And okay, let's go. Now we put threat, but the level is the distance is dangerous, this distance. So immediately we start to put threat. So now often it happens that we need to put a stronger threat. The dog's abilities to answer are actually. So we can have a strong reaction, but we have low self-confidence. And by reinforcing this low self-confidence, mostly we are reinforcing it with sleep. So basically, by this way of thinking, we are making the sleep to be a kind of a life jacket where the dog escapes the pressure. Because the pressure is very strong, dog never learned how to respond. So the pressure is like a kind of like an aggression, stimulation. It's more like us, like humans. We start to use very aggressive type of behavior, and the dog at that point doesn't understand what's going on. So maybe they react, but yeah, this drive is creating kind of a conflict, so we can have barking. And I'm not saying that it's not going to give you results, yes, for sure, but also dogs which are more reactive, more like that type of a B types of dogs, so that they need to be this defense side needs to be developed first people lose their abilities to work with those if we don't notice. So if you have very sharp dog, which is like a barking easily and a lot of drive, so its abilities to react on sleeve is very high level, then of course in this situation, like a training like that, it can work. But still I don't do this because I want the dog to learn how to fight the helper before I channel this energy anywhere. So like first fight the helper, then I channel this to drive. So I don't want this drive to be the reason for working. So by this way of thinking, you can think this way, that you're not like reinforcing anything with drive. Like a sleep is not the reward. It's kind of barking is not the behavior. Sleep is not the reward. But it's like bark and so guarding phase includes this aggression, biting, attack includes aggression, out includes aggression. So outing is easy, biting is easy, channeling is easy because of self-confidence, because reinforced aggression. Now, when we are developing this aggression, we are each and every time we are pushing this so-called stress point. And if you push this stress point too strongly, too often, or too long, too strongly, too often, or too long, that means that this stress it turns to be negative. Because like I told my last video, I was talking about this experience of being as a bouncer, what it felt when I needed to fight with one guy like 8 times. I didn't feel like winner. The first one I did. First fight I won, I felt like I'm a winner. Second, and after that it started to be like really stressful, and I had like huge pain in my stomach, and I really felt that I need to quit the job, that this is too much for me, I can't do this. So I started to be afraid. I started to be scared because I needed to fight the one guy each and every time. Like when I managed to get his ass out of the restaurant, after 5 minutes he came back, and same fight each and every time. So I started to be so stressed that I felt that my serotonin level went low, and I started to have really strong issues with my self-confidence. So that was not good, of course. But this happened when I won. I won 8 times, and I felt myself very weak. So therefore, when I'm dealing with dogs, when I'm doing those exercises, like these defense side exercises, those are really short, and they need those exercises need to be very short because of this. That if I push too much during one exercise, and even if I reinforce, like think about this hand is helper, and now you are the dog. Threat, reinforce, threat, reinforce, threat, reinforce, threat, you answer, reinforce, you answer, reinforce, you answer. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still doing this. So what happens to your self-confidence? Because nothing is working. At some point you start to be try to catch the sleeve or whatever. And when you try to catch the sleeve, if you were the dog in this situation, then the helper thinks, you don't want to use aggression, so I need to put more threat. And it's the drive switching theory in this situation is giving a wrong answer, because the drive is the place where the dog in this situation is escaping the threat. It's not like you can reinforce this. Like a reinforce is something else. So basically, like in obedience, before the dog is showing socialness, I'm not giving this drive. There is basically the same idea, that I teach the dog to control me from social point of view. That I'm reinforcing with a play, but I don't play before the dog is being social. I want the dog to communicate with me first, and that I will reinforce that emotion. So it's the same idea, but in obedience I'm using socialness, and in protection I'm using aggression, and both are needed for staying alive, because it's like a dog. Of course we know that we need food for staying alive, but and we know this because someone told us, our teacher told us this when we were in school, and so we know, but we don't have experiences of this, like 1972 the plane crash in Andes, like this rugby team 16 men stayed alive, and there was this movie Alive, and then they started to eat their relatives and friends. Then food started to have some like real meaning, like it was the first time. And for our dogs, they don't know about like that food is connected with staying alive, nor is this hunting, this behavior, like having a prey. There is no meaning for that. So only way to get that deep in dog training is to use socialness, because they need to have a social life that is connected with staying alive. So you are the most important thing for your dog, you. And also defense mechanism is very strong, and defense mechanism like is that strong. It's connected with staying alive, and causing most problems. Self-confidence issues are happening because of this. People are not like developing this defense side, so that the dog really learns to fight the helper, but they stay like reactive, and the drive is blocking this self-confidence. Of course, like drive is one thing which can create self-confidence. Like I told that some dogs, I'm even I am starting from prey stimulation, because just for getting those dogs like a functional, because it can be that the nervous system is not that strong. But anyway, like if the dog if we have decent dog, I would say that I always start from reactive side, but that's the difference, that I'm teaching this reactive side that way, slow I give very small stimulation for the dog all the time, and letting the dog to develop those emotions till the dog is fighter. Yeah, it's difficult to understand, and even nowadays in my groups there are some new people, not those people who are like training with me all the time, but some new people. I basically need to convince them, because they would like to have like a 15-minute exercise, because if you're a professional helper, you're like people are paying money for like a kind of trainings, so they need more time, they need more trainings because they paid for it. But I would say that, for example, it's not like a proper way to think that actually if you are training with someone who is professional, it's not like a paying for trainings, you pay for results. And how to get those results, then we have like a different ways to do this. But yeah, I must admit that this to train like this, it's really difficult. It's not easy task to do. It really takes time to understand this and have this kind of patience to do it correctly. And it's just like how it goes. But yeah, so aggression, how I do it, it's more like connected with like I teach the dog to be self-confident, and that means that when I do it as a helper, I'm never angry. I don't feel this anger. It's more like I'm a coach, I'm proud, I'm super proud when the dog has abilities to answer, and it's my job to make myself that weak that the dog learns to have guts to use aggression, to create develop aggression. Because aggression if we're thinking about aggression, it's not natural towards people, but aggressive behavior is natural, because aggressive behavior comes from this need to defend, and aggression is more like connected with having a prey, having like dealing with this issue with this hierarchy. We're talking about social aggression. Dogs are never showing social aggression naturally towards people, because social aggression is inside one pack. And then they can, for example, they can like make their like there is like one is more like a lower level and one is here controlling the situation, bam bam bam, and now this dog is avoiding. He's not like avoiding the pack, he's avoiding in this situation. So we call like a fight, bam bam, fly. Fly can be active avoidance behavior. This is like normally, for example, you have a situation where like there is a prey and predator, and some predators can be prey, like cat, for example. And cat can like hunt down animals, but also they need to escape when someone wants to eat them. So you can see active avoidance behavior, but passive avoidance behavior is connected with this like having hierarchy, like a socialness, I'm avoiding the situation. Okay, I lower myself, like okay, I quit, and that's like more, there is more connection with this hierarchy, with this passive type of avoidance behavior. And then of course we have those are basically what we are using. It needs to be connected. We can I can imitate myself to be like this, that I quit. So therefore I teach many like IGP dogs that they are on me with a sleeve, so that you see videos of me like laying on the ground and dog is on me. So I'm giving this picture that you won. You literally won me. So I want to teach the dog to control me, and I don't want to teach myself to control the dog. Of course, many people like this, because when you're a strong helper, you have like you're putting a lot of threat, and you introduce yourself to be a very strong person. So there is like a other side of the coin, that people like this picture because they want to see strong helpers working like that. And but it's not exactly, in my opinion, and how I understand it, that in my experience, it never was like the proper way, at least for me, to develop self-confidence. And it's not that I haven't been that. Yes, I have been that. Yeah, I was like a very strong helper, putting a lot of like a pressure, controlling dogs, and I thought that it's right. But each and every time problems were problems were there, that dogs were reading me too strongly, which was true. And even though they reacted on me, and I managed to do attacks and outings and everything like this, the problem was with helpers which were more passive. So there I saw the difference, like actually passive helper which did not create like such a pressure, gave actually showed what was wrong in my trainings. And there was a time that I was thinking these helpers are bad because they are not like they don't know how to train those dogs, but actually it was completely opposite. It was me being bad, because I created the situation that those dogs needed like a lot of stimulation to be able to respond. And when there were helpers which did not do this, so then the situation was completely different. So now they were unable to respond, and the threat started to be kind of also like a signal for working. So basically those dogs were not active, they were reactive. They wanted me to control them, otherwise they started to be unsure. And that was interesting to understand. And I think that if I didn't have this military career where I was training military dogs and police dogs, numerous real protection dog trainings, that was the a time in my life that I really understood this. I'm pretty sure that if I would have trained only IPO and later this information is from that world. But of course nowadays it's kind of a combination. Basically I would say it like this, that I built the foundation very same way. Like there are no differences whatsoever when I'm building how I build the foundation. But then there are differences when how to channel this, like a military and police dogs. I channel this energy to attack mode, like they are attacking. And with IGP dogs, first they are attacking and barking, and then I just wait that they start to step, like the behavior starts to be more stable. And then I'm reinforcing when they start to be stable. So I'm not anymore like a teaching like this barking is like so immediately biting, but I'm just reinforcing when it starts to turn to be barking. And in any situation, if I need to put any threat, it's more like you may not touch, you need to bark. Like it's more like for channeling. So threat is any stimulation, threat stimulation or something like this it's not connected with like building the behavior. It's more like a channeling, a small information for the dog that don't do it now like that, do it like that, and that's it. So therefore the stimulation, the threat stimulation can be very small, not strong at all. Yeah. So it's about like a channeling, and so I want the dog to fight the helper. I want the dog to win all the time, and of course this way of thinking, it's not easy, and in a way it can be even more safe to do it from drive switching point of view. However, one must understand that it's not like that way, that it's like a easy or the best way to do, and it can cause some problems, especially if you need to put a lot of like a threat, like trying to create aggression. Because when you start it from the distance that you are already like there, like a dangerous distance, it's like you didn't reinforce this, like you're just making it happening, and that means that you're making it happening with using quite a lot of threat. And that is not natural. Only defend, like aggression is not natural. Being aggressive is natural. So aggression, if we want to develop, that must be like reinforced energy. So I've like only those dogs which are like genetically like aggressive, like they are very angry dogs, they can work like that. But still, it's like it's not. We can't talk about like a self-confidence or reinforced self-confidence. So in my opinion, helper never should be aggressive. They should be proud and reinforce the dog. And also the idea is not to create aggressive dog, but dog which has guts to use aggression. So that's like a completely different thing. If you do it like this, serotonin level is high. It means that the dog is less reactive, less impulsive, more confident, no need to react. Cortisol level is low when it should be low, when the dog is resting. And if we push this stress button too often, too strongly or too long, it means that this cortisol level starts to be high, even when the dog should be resting. And so that's not like good. So I just recently got some message from one person who claimed that their understanding when they were training dogs, that they noticed that aggression training, after that the dogs feel so much stress, and it's not nice for them. So aggression training is wrong. Yeah, this is exactly what happens. This is like I told, this is exactly what happens when you are not building this, but you're demanding it. So build, don't demand. And when you start to demand, it's not to create the behavior, it's for channeling the behavior to right direction. So that's about it. Hopefully you understood something. I do these videos from car while I'm driving and using the, like a language which I normally don't use. So I learned English in like I just started to talk. So if you have some issues like in understanding something, like well, I can't ask like send me messages, but you can put comment there, for example, that I can try to make it more clear. But that's about it this time. All right, this was again my like a car discussion by myself. So hopefully you enjoyed. Bye.